Alright guys, it's Anthony Subaru Service. Chris's truck, we're still working on it. Kind of. We got the pump out. It was updated. But I'll tell you what. Let's just get up here and look, because it's a sad, sad day. The other bolt was just as tight, and it would not come out. Now you can kind of see how it's kind of old. The brake on it, I center punched the middle. I went ahead and center punched the middle, and then I thought, well, if that left-hand bolt, those bolts, once you release the tension, they're 89 inch-pounds. They should thread all the way down by hand. And I tried to get on it with, I got these freaking pipe wrench pliers. I got some pretty nice pliers, and it just wasn't spinning out. Now, whether or not it gotten tightened, it's gonna mess the bolt up before it messes the threads up, because that's a block of, I don't know what kind of material it is. It's steel or something. Whatever the material of the block is harder than the bolt, because the bolt is just an M6 thread. So, I mean, there's just put orange sealant on it. I mean, just when you see little stuff like that, that sucks. It's horrible. But this is an engine out job. It's yanked the engine. There's just, yeah. I guess I've never done it before, but there's not a lot of meat to drill that out. It's just the consequences are so high, because we go drilling on that branch tube. Let's say we go ahead and drill it out and go with a bigger bolt and put bigger bolts in it. Well, if you get all the way down to the end, if something happens, you got to yank the engine out any freaking ways. It's absolutely not an ideal situation. At the cost of a branch tube, because a branch tube it's actually about more fragile than a set of lifters. Because if that branch tube, if it gets a crack in it on the tube, or if anything happens to the branch tube, it's engine out. You can't get that branch tube out with the engine in chassis. So, this no start, no ICP issue just turned massive. So, that's not cool. That's just, and you can see where I've been on that, trying to get it out, and it's, now whether or not they cross-threaded both of them, a lot of times what will happen is the fitting, the discharge fitting on the pump, the updated fitting, will not be spun. It's 5 turns. But if it had a blown out STC fitting, it could bend the branch tube, which would cause you to need 6 turns. By turns, I'm talking about, let me show you. By turns, I'm talking about the fitting. You loosen the jam nut all the way, and the fitting actually threads into the pump. And you're supposed to do 5 turns and then put the bracket on it. I've got a steel bracket that goes like the old updated bracket. That's a long bracket, goes to this hole, and then to here. And that gets you the alignment, and then you tighten the jam nut. Well, let's see if there's witness marks inside the holes where it was threaded in. Some scratches. My phone ain't gonna focus. Inside the holes here, because if they didn't have the alignment right, then it will try to cut threads in that fitting. You can kind of see some lines in there. Phone's not showing it very good, but if they try, oh, there's some. You can see it pretty good, right? It's not focusing on it, but right in that hole, right in the center of the screen. So what very well could have happened was they ran this alignment in and out was not correct for the STC fitting. Like they either went too many turns in or not enough turns in. The holes are either out or in, and then they put the bolts in and tried to run them down, and they're hard to turn, so it actually cut threads into the STC fitting, and it builds a massive, or the branch tube builds a massive amount of heat. You got to torque it down. That's, I'd probably bet money that that's what happened, that they had it not aligned and they went ahead and just rammed the bolts home and just ran them down in there. Well, it broke one of the bolts, and then the other bolt, they tweaked it so freaking much that it broke right when we tried to loosen it. Like, no torque at all, and it just snapped it off, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm just shaking my head. I don't know. It's just, I mean, this is all because of humans. This is because of people. This has nothing to do with the truck. This is people caused this problem. So, I mean, we got to stop. We got parts all out. We got parts getting cleaned. We've already been going in process. Some of the parts are getting cleaned. They're all on the shelf. And now the whole freaking engine needs to come out. That's just catastrophic. It's just absolutely just sucks. But I mean, that's the only way we're going to get a good repair. We could hodgepodge around with this son of a gun and try to get those cut off square and then drilled out and drill the bolts out, and then take a chance of metal shavings all down in the crank gear and the cam gear and just metal everywhere and try to shop vac it out. But at the end of the day, we could wind up having to yank the engine out anyways. So, I mean, the money best spent would be to just hurry up and yank the freaking engine out right freaking now. And then it is not studded, because we can possibly, it'd be a pain in the ass, but we could possibly get the branch tube replaced without taking the heads off. But at that point, is that really what you want to do? I mean, take the heads off, pull the rear cover off, put a set of lifters in it, reseal the truck. I mean, it's a substantial amount. I mean, this oil reseal everything job, I mean, you're gonna be north of $8,000 probably, and that freaking sucks. It might, depending on what parts we get and what all we replace and what we do, it could bump up a couple grand from that, depending on how many, how much stuff we actually do. Because I've never heard this truck run. The orange O-rings on all the injector harnesses say that these are original injectors. So it's an absolute tragedy. That just sucks. But at the end of the day, you'd have a nice freaking truck at the end of the day if we did all that. So it's like, it's time to weigh options, flip a coin, look at the stars. I don't know, figure something, because that sucks. I mean, it's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. I mean, it sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there, because it's decision time. We got to figure out which way to go with it. What a freaking drag. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good day.